before there were temples, before there were grades, before there was a golden dawn. There was only a man watching the world fracture in the aftermath of war. I was born into smoke and steel, a Victorian empire swollen with power and rotting at the edges. My father fell early. Discipline replaced childhood, books replaced family, war replaced youth. I marched beneath banners I did not understand into fields stained with blood for causes already forgotten. The battlefield taught me something essential. Men do not follow truth. They follow structure. Command is ritual. Obedience is initiatory. Rank is consecration. When the war ended, I returned not as a hero but as a machine searching for new orders, and I found them in books, languages first, Hebrew, Latin, Greek, Coptic, then the forbidden catalogue of human will, grimoires, angelic tables, Solomonic seals, medieval diagrams of celestial machinery. What others dismissed as superstition, I recognized as engineering. Magic was not faith, magic was architecture. While mystics chased visions, I sought systems, formulas, protocols, controlled ascent. The world believed religion guided heaven. I learned instead that maps guided gods, and maps can be built. Every machine requires a blueprint. Mine arrived disguised as nonsense, a bundle of handwritten ciphers, meaningless to casual eyes. To me, they were pressure behind a locked door. The letters were wrong, the spacing deliberate, the errors consistent. Someone had hidden structure inside chaos. I spent months breaking them. When the pattern revealed itself, the room felt suddenly smaller. The manuscripts described initiations, elemental grades, ceremonial weapons, temple geometry, not visions, instructions, not prophecy, procedure. This was not folklore. This was a ritual factory waiting to be activated. I shared the discovery with men who knew enough to recognize its danger and its promise. Westcott, Woodman, physician by profession, occultists by hunger. Together we reconstructed what had been lost, filled the gaps with disciplined invention. No angels spoke to us, no spirits whispered formulas. We built it ourselves, and once built, it demanded to be used. The first temple was not magnificent. It was rented, cold, unremarkable. Yet when the candles were lit and the floor was marked and the doors were sealed, something irreversible occurred. Structure became authority. The initiates arrived uncertain, nervous, educated men and women trembling like children on the threshold of something they could not name. I gave them no mysticism, only commands. Stand here, face this direction, speak these words. Step forward when told. They obeyed, and obedience creates reality faster than belief ever could. Grade by grade, the system unfolded: earth, air, water, fire, paths mapped not by emotion but by controlled exposure. No one advanced from vision. Advancement was earned through alignment with procedure. They called the experience mystical. I called it accurate. The Golden Dawn was not a religion. It was a machine that manufactured altered humans. Each ritual dismantled identity and rebuilt it inside a new framework. I watched ordinary lives reorganize themselves around our symbols. Power was not granted, it was absorbed. Once the system functioned, refinement became obsession. I redesigned everything: weapons, vestments, temple layouts, floor diagrams, directional currents, every movement calibrated, every word timed, every silence placed. Most orders relied on myth. I relied on precision. Where others saw pentagrams and prayers, I saw mechanical leverage against the subconscious. The true target was never spirits, it was the human nervous system. Ritual was not communion, ritual was rewiring. Initiates remembered stages of their lives as grades. They spoke in symbols even outside the temple. Their dreams changed, their relationships fractured, their sense of time altered. The machine was working, and I stood at its silent center, unseen and indispensable. But machines attract operators who want control, and architects always create those who believe they can replace them. Power crystallizes inward. The public face of the order remains scholastic and benign. Philosophy, comparative religion, self-improvement, but the real current passed through the inner order, a sealed chamber of influence I controlled through proximity and isolation. Westcott drifted from the center. Authority relocated itself without announcement. Documents shifted hands. Deputies answered only to me. Correspondence grew private. No coup was declared. None was required. Those closest to the engine always feel its gravity. I allowed myth to grow around my position. Some believed I communed with invisible masters. Others believed I wielded secret authorizations from ancient lineages. I corrected neither. Mystery is a tool. Soon the order no longer resembled a brotherhood. It resembled a distribution network. Knowledge flowed outward in controlled releases. Influence flowed back inward. Membership expanded. Reputation expanded. Friction expanded. Every successful system eventually generates resistance from its own pressure, and pressure makes fractures visible. When Crowley entered the structure, he did not explode it. He destabilized it. He was not the danger most later imagined. He was a flaw introduced by excess intensity, a catalyst that accelerated failures already embedded in the framework. He possessed hunger without patience, fire without discipline. Where my system required containment, he sought expansion. Where I enforced silence, he sought spectacle. Yet he was not central. He was a disturbance, not a rival. The true conflicts formed in sealed letters in private councils, in the long corridors between influence and authority. Crowley merely revealed the strain that already existed by refusing to be small. He did not threaten the system by power. He threatened it by refusal to remain peripheral. And the machine does not tolerate that. Orders collapse not from attack, but from division disguised as principle. Accusations surfaced slowly at first, procedural disagreements, claims of illegitimacy, doubts over authorization. Then came open schism. Temples closed their doors, councils met without consensus, authorities splintered, rituals continued, trust did not. They called it a civil war. In truth, it was a struggle over who owned the blueprint. Letters replaced daggers, expulsions replaced executions, reputation replaced blood. But the violence was no less real. Careers ended, minds fractured, allegiances reversed overnight. The machine did not break, it multiplied. When coherence failed, fragments adapted. Different lodges preserved different elements of the architecture. The Golden Dawn became a seed bank for future orders. And no seed remembers the hand that planted it. I did not die as a master at the center of a kingdom. I died as an exile, abroad, reduced, watching from the margins as the structure replicated beyond my reach. Students becoming founders, assistants becoming authorities, my designs reproduced without attribution. Yet this is how true architecture always functions. The architect disappears. The building remains. Today, modern ceremonial magic still uses my grades, my diagrams, my weapons, my directions. Fraternities, lodges, mystery schools all unknowingly operate within a system I engineered down to the sentence. Crowley is remembered, I am embedded, he is the storm, I am the engine beneath it, and engines do not require recognition, only operation. You've been watching the Esoteric Unveiled, exploring hidden orders, forgotten truths, and forbidden knowledge. Like and subscribe.